If you've ever felt overwhelmed by fitness, if you've ever felt confused by nutrition, if you've ever wondered why doing all the right things still feels exhausting, well, we're going to tell you why you're not broken. The system is. Today on the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Hey, good day and welcome back to the Personalized Fitness Podcast. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been listening for a while, well, welcome back. My name is Garrett Williamson. I'm president of Personalized Fitness, and today's episode kicks off a multi-part series where we strip away the confusion around fitness and nutrition and bring things back to what actually matters through the lens of what we call the lie of age. And that lie is simple: that decline is not inevitable, that complexity equals intelligence, and that if you're struggling, it must be because you're not disciplined enough. Well, none of that is true. Before we jump in, a quick reminder. If you get value from this episode or any episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you do have questions about this episode or ideas for future podcasts or want to talk with us directly, you can always reach us at Garrett@personalizedfitness.com at 251-341-0927. Also 251-278-3343. Contact me on X at TeamPE. And if you've heard me reference the lie of age and are wondering more about the book that's coming soon, and this podcast is very intentionally laying the groundwork for it. Absolutely. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it. Well, setting the stage here on why simplicity matters. Here's something I see almost every single day in consults. People don't walk in lacking motivation. They walk in mentally exhausted. They've tried counting macros, eating every 2 hours, intermittent fasting, avoiding carbs, avoiding fat, avoiding sugar, avoiding food altogether. In fact, the greatest generation and some Gen X have heard nothing but, when it comes to food, cut out or cut back. That's what they know about nutrition. And somehow the solution is always more rules. Well, that's not health. That's cognitive overload. That's confusion. And one of the great lies of both aging and nutrition is that the solution must be complicated. Well, it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm going to do a little recap on what I call the lie of food. If you've listened to the podcast before, you've heard me talk about the lie of food. And here's the short version. There is no such thing as bad food. This is a lie that started back in 1953 when a celebrity had a heart attack. Food isn't moral. It doesn't punish you. It doesn't reward you. It doesn't know what day it is. Food is information. And when we moralize it, good food, bad food, cheat food, we turn nutrition into stress. And stress is one of the ways to shut down repair. Stress is one of the two ways that cause you to crave, which causes you to overeat. And that brings us to today. Here's the big idea of this episode. If Homo sapiens, humans, focused on just three things nutritionally: water, calories, and protein, it becomes almost difficult to imagine how long, how strong, and how functional we could actually be. That's not hype. That's biology. We literally don't know how long we can live if we just do those three things right. Let's break them down. Number one, water. It's the most ignored foundation. Most people are chronically underhydrated. Not dangerously, just enough to increase hunger, increase fatigue, impair focus. Large population research published in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition consistently shows that even mild dehydration increases hunger signals and perceived effort. In simple terms, your body confuses thirst with hunger. It actually, your body at that point in time is craving because it's trying to get you to get water. It's not hunger. Roughly 40% of cravings are driven by inadequate hydration, not caloric need. Now here's where I really want to be very clear. At Personal Edge, a baseline we use and one that is commonly recommended by the National Institute of Health, the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association, Harvard Medical, Stanford Medical, Cooper Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, Pritikin. I literally could keep going. The standard they use is 100 ounces of water per day. Now, I'll tell you this before you say, I drink a lot of water. And I'm not saying you don't. But over 72% of the population does not drink enough water. And I rarely meet these people until they actually start measuring it. Do you get the point? Or do you want me to continue? This isn't fringe. This isn't trendy. This is well-established human baseline. 100 ounces of water a day. Not magic. Just human. A quick pause here. If you're listening to this and thinking, why has no one ever explained it this way? Well, that's what we do. And also, if they can keep you confused, they can sell you a bunch of junk. But if you have questions about this episode and want clarification, or want to suggest a future topic, reach out to us directly. These messages often turn into podcasts. All right, back to it. By the way, how to get in touch with us, 251-278-3343, Garrett at personaledgefitness.com. Number 2, calories. Not too many, not too few. Calories make people uncomfortable. Yeah, too many calories can lead to weight gain, but too few calories can also absolutely lead to obesity. Here's why. Your body's first job is survival. And survival means energy availability. Well, calories are gasoline. They're your energy. When you chronically undereat, you don't give the body enough fuel, so it starts shutting down what it sees as non-essential. And one of the first things to go is muscle. It'll shut down the repair process or the maintenance process of muscle. Muscle is metabolically expensive. What that means is it contains energy. And in perceived starvation state, the body will atrophy muscle, destroy it, to free up fuel. And if it stores anything, it's going to store fat. Because fat is energy insurance. So now you have less muscle, which creates a slower metabolism. Remember what metabolism is. Calories in, calories out. That's all it is. And a body that's trying desperately to conserve. That's not failure. That's adaptation. And this is well documented in research following dieting populations, including studies published in Obesity and the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. That's why people say, I don't eat that much, but I can't lose weight or I can't lose this fat. And often, they're right. Their body's maintaining a pocket of fat, so they typically will keep eating less and less and less, causing the problem to actually get worse. All right, number 3, protein, the foundation of repair. Protein isn't about bodybuilding. Protein is about muscle preservation. It's about immune function. It's about hormone production. And it's really big part of it, appetite regulation. Large-scale studies published in journals like the American Journal of Physiology and Nutrients consistently show that adequate protein preserves lean mass and reduces overeating. A simple rule that many professionals use is 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass spread across meals. Make it easy for yourself. 1 gram per body weight, per pound of body weight. It's pretty easy. And this is my easier way to say it. Eat something at every meal that comes from something with a face. A fish has a face. A cow has a face. A pig has a face. And trust me, if you're a vegetarian, you can do this well, but you must be intentional and usually supplement because there's no single plant protein that has all the amino acids you need to maintain muscle. That's just biology. All right, let me show you how we actually analyze a diet. When we do a diet analysis, we don't criticize what someone eats at all, ever. We look for patterns. Patterns tell stories, and patterns reveal stress. Let me give you one of my favorite stories about this. True story. It's what I call the Coke at 2 o'clock. I had a client go through our Catalyst Lifestyle Change Program. And we were doing her diet analysis. After she dropped the weight and whatever, we were looking at her diet analysis, and we found that every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, there was a Coke. Not every day, just Wednesday, and just at 2 o'clock. We asked curiously, not critically, what happens at 1:30? Nothing wrong with the Coke. She said, I had a staff meeting at 1 o'clock. I said, really? I said, how does that go? Well, she said, well, I hate my boss. The Coke wasn't the problem. Stress was. And she was drinking the Coke to mitigate the stress. Historically, stress meant danger. Saber-toothed tiger, you fight or you run. Both are exercise-based stress outlets. Modern stress doesn't get discharged. So this is where we use food, and more appropriately, chemicals. Instead of her having that Coke, we had her walk around the building twice after that meeting, and the craving disappeared. It's not discipline, it's physiology. And again, nothing wrong with a Coke, but we were teaching her how to mitigate her stress and why she wanted certain foods. People think aging causes decline, just like they think food causes failure. In reality, it's mismanagement and unnecessary complexity. And nutrition is only one of the 4 pillars that determine ability: fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset. We're addressing nutrition here, but decline never has a single cause. Now, simplicity restores control. Control restores confidence. And that's what we're looking to do with this series. In closing here, if you get water right, calories right, and protein right, just those 3 simple things, you almost can't put a limit on how long or how well you can live. Now, in the next episode, we're continuing this series by talking about something no one puts on a nutritional label, and that's stress, the hidden macronutrient. This is the live age, simplifying fitness and nutrition. That's what we're trying to do here. The whole reason I named the podcast Personal Edge Fitness Podcast, Dispelling the Myths of Health, Wellness, and Nutrition, is because things have gotten way too confusing. And like I said earlier, most people think that health and fitness, the answer to that, the answer to longevity, has to be complex. Actually, it doesn't. It's very simple. And breaking that complexity down, and breaking it down to what do you really need, making it simple, well, that's just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. And we're just getting started.